Picture a quiet evening in a neighborhood where children's laughter once danced on the breeze. A single mother's home glowed with warmth, her voice a steady comfort to 5 young souls. Then, in an instant, that light vanished, replaced by a silence so heavy it pressed on the heart. 5 children watched their world unravel, helpless, as a shadow stole their mother away. Who was this shadow and what drove them to such darkness? This is a story that will linger in your mind. Stay with us on True Crime Unknown. The events depicted in this video are based on a true story. To respect the privacy and sensitivity of those involved, certain names, locations, and details have been altered. This content includes discussions and reenactments of violent crimes, which may be disturbing to some viewers. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. Stay with us as we uncover the haunting truth on True Crime Unknown. It was July 10, 2025 in Cleveland's Old Brooklyn neighborhood, a place where families sought refuge from the city's chaos. Sharmaine Forpahl, 32, had recently moved there with her 5 children, seeking a fresh start. Her single-family home was more than walls and a roof, it was a sanctuary. The kitchen hummed with the aroma of her famous chicken stew, the living room echoed with the chatter of Harlem, 7, Anastasia, 9, Anastasia, 11, Nikiah, 12, and Theodis Jr, 15. Friends described her as their anchor, a devoted mother who worked tirelessly as a nurse's aide to keep them fed and safe. She'd painted the walls bright colors herself, hung their artwork with pride, and planned a backyard garden for the summer. But beneath her strength, life hadn't been easy. A past relationship had left scars, and she was determined to shield her kids from that pain. That determination ended on a night no one saw coming. The night began like any other. Sharmaine was tucking Harlem into bed, his small voice asking for one more story. But then, a scream pierced the stillness, raw and desperate. Neighbors later described it as a sound that chilled their bones. Sharmaine was found just steps from her front door, her body bearing the brutal marks of multiple stab wounds. Blood pooled on the concrete, a stark contrast to the flowers she'd planted days before. Her children, scattered inside, emerged to a nightmare. Harlem stood frozen, his tiny frame trembling. Honesty clutched Anastasia's hand, tears streaming. Nikiah and Theodis tried to shield the younger ones, but the horror was inescapable. Paramedics arrived too late. Sharmaine was gone, her life stolen in front of the family she'd fought to protect. Police rushed to the scene, their radios crackling with urgency. Audio, 911 call reenactment, panicked voice, "She's bleeding. Hurry please, my sister's hurt." Neighbors peeked through curtains, some reporting a figure darting into the shadows. The investigation began with a flood of questions. Who could do this? Why here, in this quiet corner of Cleveland? Detectives combed the house, finding no sign of forced entry but noting the chaos of a struggle. Fingerprints, blood samples, and a dropped knife became their first clues. The trail led to Charles F. Barkley, 44, a man Sharmaine had briefly dated months earlier. What started as a casual romance had soured, neighbors said, with arguments spilling into the street. That night, a domestic dispute turned deadly. Barkley was arrested within hours, charged with murder. But the why remained a shadow over the case. Sharmaine's best friend, Sierra Drake, sits in her living room, a photo of Sharmaine in hand. "She was my sister in spirit," Sierra says softly, her voice catching. "She moved here for peace, to give her kids a safe haven after years of struggle. She just started that garden, dreaming of teaching Harlem to plant seeds. That dream shattered with her death. The children, now orphaned, are adrift. Harlem clings to a stuffed bear she gave him, whispering her name. Honesty draws pictures of their mother, her crayons trembling. Anastasia prays nightly, hoping it's a mistake. Nikiah stares out the window, lost in silence. Theodis Jr., the eldest, tries to hold them together, but his shoulders slump under the weight. Sierra launched a GoFundMe to secure their future, raising over $8,000 toward a $10,000 goal. "I'm scared their memories will fade," she admits, her eyes glistening. Sharmaine's laughter, her hugs, they need to hold on to that. The fundraiser aims to fund education, therapy, and a memorial garden in her honor. Sharmaine's sister, Sky Harmon, clutches her phone, scrolling through years of texts. "She was my lifeline," Sky says, her voice breaking. "When I was broke, she sent money. When I cried, she listened. Now, who's there for me?" The loss echoes in every message she rereads, each one a reminder of a bond severed. The children's grief unfolds in quiet moments. Theodis Jr., 15, wakes early to make breakfast, his hands shaking as he flips pancakes his mom once taught him. Anastasia, 11, sleeps with Sharmaine's scarf, its fabric soft against her cheek. Nikiah, 12, writes letters to her mother, folding them into a box under her bed. Anastasia, 9, asks Sierra, "When will mommy come back?" Her voice a fragile hope. And Harlem, 7, waits by the door each evening, his small figure silhouetted against the glass, waiting for a mother who won't walk through. The weight of their loss grows heavier with each passing day. Barkley's arrest offered a flicker of justice but not peace. Detectives uncovered a history of tension. Phone records showed late-night calls, texts laced with anger. Witnesses recalled Sharmaine's unease, her attempts to distance herself. The trial, set for late 2025, will peel back the layers of that night. Was it jealousy? Control? A moment of rage? Sharmaine's funeral on July 26th will gather her community, a chance to mourn and remember. Her children will lay flowers, their small hands trembling as they say goodbye. But the scars, visible and hidden, will linger long after the casket is lowered. This is more than a crime scene. It's a family's soul laid bare, a mother's love cut short, and a community left to pick up the pieces. What drove Charles Barkley to this act? Were there signs we should have seen? Share your reflections in the comments, and subscribe to True Crime Unknown to journey with us through more stories of tragedy and resilience.